Hello, good people. Welcome to Sports Cards Anonymous, a channel where we have conversations about cards. And this is my April pickup video. I said in February that was the best month I ever had as a collector. I said March was a strong follow-up, and April, to my surprise, was a very strong follow-up as well. We got a lot to go through, a lot of great pickups from my Houston collection. I have some TCG in here as well. Lots of great stuff. Some Dallas, a little bit of 90s and 2000s legends for football. Lots of good stuff. So, sit back and enjoy seeing some great cards. First up, Randy Johnson, Tools of the Trade. I have looked for a long time for a nice Houston Astros Randy Johnson patch. It's difficult to find because not everyone puts Astros in the title on Randy Johnson cards, so I didn't even know which sets had good patches of him, and if I did, they were usually more of a napkin patch. But finally, I found this Jersey Prime patch for Randy Johnson. And is this 04? I feel like this is 04. It's 05. Close. Number 19 of 50. Randy had a great year in Houston, of course, after being traded from Seattle. Now, some Lima time. Jose Lima. This, of course, is a Skybox Rubies. Just a great card here. I wanted Lima in the collection because, he is a fantastic part of the Houston sports story, an absolute phenom. There in the late 90s and early 2000s, was a cultural legend in Houston. If anyone from Houston, of course, you'll know the Cassie Olay commercials that he was in. Of course, he passed away too young, but this dude had so much chutzpah and charisma and just energy. You'll see all these numbers on his hat. As players got injured throughout the year, he would write the name of the players on the hat, so you can see how many they lost that year. And I think that was the 90. I think this was 98. He did that. It might have been 99. I don't remember now. Following that up, we have a Fleer Brilliance 24 karat gold Shane Reynolds. Shane Reynolds is a great pitcher in the 90s for the Astros. Not well remembered. He had a good 3 to 5 year run there in Houston. These are probably, for my money, these are the best cards out of the 90s. The Fleer Brilliance 24 karat golds. You'll see they're out of 24. Anyone looking for these, you should note there are backdoor copies. For most, versions of this, for most Fleer Skybox, the way you identify, backdoor copy or not is you want to make sure that it's numbered and it's stamped. And even then, there's still concerns about if it's real or not. But, these cards are just wonderful in hand. I think, for my money, best looking cards out of the 90s. One more Jose Lima. This is an ultra platinum medallion. I just like this. He would wear his glove like this often. I just thought it was a very good picture of him. Yeah. And then this one a little bit different. So this is a picture inside of Houston. So once I decided, I was like, hey, I'm gonna start putting together this kind of museum to Houston sports. This is a picture inside the Astrodome. I started looking at stuff, and my family would talk about the Astrodome. I went to the Astrodome. I saw the Astrodome often. If you went to where the Texans play, NRG Arena, back then Reliant, you would walk by the Astrodome. Like, it's well known. Of course, here's Minute Maid Park on the back. And it's still Minute Maid here. Yeah, it's still Minute Maid in this picture. And so I started to look for cards that showed or highlighted inside the Astrodome. It turns out there are not many cards even with pictures inside the Astrodome. If you look for cards of players from the Astros, 80s, 90s, whatever, 70s, even in cards that are home picture jerseys, they're not in the Astrodome. It's spring training. The Astrodome was too dark. It was hard to watch on television. It was hard to get good pictures. So there's not many cards with pictures inside the Astrodome. I've done a lot of scouring. There are not very many. I have about 5. And I think that's, kind of about it. This is a really cool card, Ballpark Evolution. So you see the Astrodome, and in the back, you see Minute Maid Park, now Daikin Park. This is out of 2019, and this is numbered out of 150. Just a great card. I think a great part of the Houston, story. The last Houston baseball card, this one's very interesting. It's a great card. This is 1910 T206, fully white. This is the first ever Houston sports card. So I thought that was pretty cool. Fully white's pretty much a no-name player out of Houston. You see the H there, the Houston Buffs. Most people probably don't know about the Buffs, but yeah, the Houston Buffs were Houston's original baseball team. They were a minor league team for the Cardinals. Some great Speaker played there. Dizzy Dean played there. A few others. And yeah. So anyway, just a great part of Houston's story. And I just think this is pretty cool that it's the first ever card made with a Houston sports team on it. We'll do a little bit of basketball. A little bit of basketball. No, I'm going to save the basketball. The big heat. The big heat is in basketball. We're going to do the Luv-Ya-Blue Oilers. Some great Oilers stuff here. I was trying to look like, what do I want to be my best Earl Campbell card? And I went with this one. I love the patch. Of course, you get the two colors, maybe even three if that's white up there. No, that's not white. It's interesting. Anyway, but you get all that blue, and I just think that that's really fitting because it's the Luv-Ya-Blue Oilers. So great Topps triple thread there of Earl Campbell. Here's a Ray Childress wild card out of the wild card stripe of 1,000. So if you would send this in, they would send you 1,000 base Ray Childress cards. Pretty wild. Ray Childress was a great player for the 80s, early 90s Oilers. My family would tell a lot of stories about him. My grandfather worked at one of Childress's Lawrence Marshall, if you're in Houston, dealerships. So I don't know. I always liked Ray Childress because of that. Warren Moon, 1986 Topps auto. Could have got the 85 rookie. I liked 86 Topps. I've always liked 86 Topps. One of my earliest cards that was worth more than like $10 was 86 Topps John Elway. And so even though the design's kind of hokey, I've always liked it. And it's Warren Moon auto. This is Billy White Shoes. White Shoes, he got the name because in high school, he dyed his shoes white and he felt like he ran faster. His coach gave him a lot of flack for it, but he kept with the name White Shoes. He kept with the white shoes. He was very showboaty, very Dion-esque in that, big play and a lot of, showboatism, I guess. And so I really like this card because, it's very flashy and I feel like that's how he's played. And what makes this card extra cool is for some reason he signed it twice. I have no idea why, but the double signature, the insane design here with the white shoes, it just is very on brand for him as a player. And here we have a Curly Cup auto, a Curly Cup Hall of Fame defensive lineman for the Oilers and the Chiefs. And Colt, he had a pretty interesting auto. I looked at a lot of his autos over the years, and he dated him as he signed him. I thought that was pretty cool. So you can see when he signed it. I don't know. I've never seen another player do that, and I just thought that was pretty interesting. So I do have a auto from Earl Campbell here. This is so his rookie card year. He has 4 cards, and then he's not in Topps again, right? He's only in 1979 Topps. He has 4 different cards. He has the record breaker, the base, the team leaders, and then the team action play, which we're going to see here. And I like this one because it's got the blue jersey where the standard rookie card just has the white jersey. Dr. Doom, Robert Brazil, another big member of the 80s Oilers defense. Mike Barber auto, shout out to Mr. Schwartz. Looks like him, tight end for the Oilers back then. Elvin Bethea, another Hall of Famer here out of that vaunted Houston defense. I love the Houston legacy. I'm a big believer in that franchises win the same way across generations. So when you look at the Oilers, they had the Luv-Ya-Blues and Dan Pastorini at quarterback, okay, but that was a defensive team that ran the ball with Earl Campbell. When you look at the great Texans teams of the 2010s, it's a defensive team with Arian Foster, and I kind of feel like, teams in general kind of win the same way historically, and so I like the tie-in to Houston defense. Speaking of Dan Pastorini, nice little Luv-Ya-Blue auto. This is out of, what year is this? 2004 Topps. They did this this archive, look, and you can get these without the auto, of course. It's just a base insert, but then they had some with autos, and I think these are fantastic. Great looking cards. This is essentially a reprint here, but they add the Luv-Ya-Blue team nickname, and I think it's just a great addition to the card. And then I told you we would see the team card, and this is it here. I like this card because you see them opening the hole for Earl, and then Earl signed this. So great card there. That is the Oilers section and the Astros. And we're going to do some cheap stuff. I'm going to fly through this. This is just some cheap binder stuff. I picked this up in a trade with my buddy Schwartz. Like that Altuve. Nice BGO refractor. Shaq, 1999 UD MVP, one of my favorite sets all time. I collected the football then, not necessarily the basketball, but I like these silver scripts. I think they're cool. This is 2001 Fleer Premium Kobe. I really, really love these Fleer Premium cards around the year 2000. I think these have a lot of room to grow. I think they're really nice cards. They're well-made cards, great images. You have the 1961 Fleer, so which is like this, but made in 1998, I think it is. Those are great images. That Kobe card has Michael Jordan on it. Pretty much every card has 2 Hall of Famers on it. If a Hall of Famer is featured in the card. So I don't know, just a really interesting set. I really like this design, something I've really been exploring. This is 93 Upper Deck hologram Hakeem. I just picked this up for $1. It's going to be great in a binder. This Charles Barkley, I love the 2000 metal. This one just seems very clean. Like it's the most pristine one I've ever had in hand. I couldn't pass it up, out of a quarter bin or whatever. And you got Tim Duncan on there too, so it's pretty cool. This is 2008 Topps Paper Gold. I really like this image of Yao. You have Yao dunking on Garnett. And if we can zoom in, that's Ray Allen in the background, and then Carl Landry and I believe Aaron Brooks for the Rockets. So I just think this is a great image. I don't know, was it 3 Hall of Famers there? Yao's dunking on Garnett. It's pretty awesome. Great card. Emmitt Smith sticker. I love these stickers. I had these when I was a kid. I found this in a dollar bin. I was pretty happy to pick it up. I'll throw it in a binder. Tomlinson Topps, one of my original chase cards, chasing this out of packs. Pretty happy to have that in a binder. This is 2001 UD Vintage FX. So you'll see right here it's numbered of 750. Tomlinson rookie. Then a 2000 Topps Chrome Ricky and Bowman Chrome Ricky. Then a 2013 Select Tony Romo, a gift from my buddy Schwartz. 2013 Select Panini Prism Silver Romo, and then a 2016 Optic Holo. I've been pretty big on the 16 Optics. Of course, everybody knows that's first year Optic. I feel like it's pretty cheap. I really like the design of that year. I think they're nice looking cards. I've been trying to pick these up on the side. And then a 2001 Upper Deck MVP, UD MVP, FX Vic, numbered to 750. Picked up a lot of Vic, Breeze, and Tomlinson this month, and you're going to see that as we move into that stack. What we'll start with here is some of the 2010s football. I picked this up at auction towards the end of the month. 2012 Prism Silver Watt and a PSA 8. Man, I was really surprised by this. I thought I was going to have to pay double what I paid. I was quite happy to walk. I've forgotten now what I even paid for it. I try not to talk about the money on this too much because it doesn't matter. But I just feel like some of this really goes under the radar, and then people realize, oh no, I missed that, and then you really start to chase it. And so I was really happy to pick this one up. Great card, of course, iconic set. And here we have a 2009 Sign of the Times, Tony Romo and Matt Schaub. Growing up, I talk about it all the time. My buddy Schwartz, mentioned him now 3 times in this video, best friends, and he's a Cowboys fan. I'm a Texans fan. Us growing up in, the 2000s and 2010s, these were the quarterbacks of our teams. So I think this is a great card. I would like to buy another copy if anyone finds one, because I'd like to give him one and we each have one. So great card there. Another Romo card, 2008 Topps Chrome Gold Refractor and a PSA 9. This was listed at what I thought was a pretty attractive price. They're number 1 of 199. And just great looking card. These don't show that well on camera, I guess, but in hand, they're very gold. Those are really nice autos. 1999 Contenders Red Ricky Williams auto. Ricky Williams, one of my favorite players all time. I started collecting in 99, and this was the guy we were chasing. We were Texas fans. You like running backs back then, number 40 of 100. So great card there. Another fun Ricky, 1999 Score. I love the 99 Score. This is the Score anniversary, so it's numbered to 1989, the 10-year anniversary. I love this card. And it's a little special because he signed it. Smoke weed every day. Just insane. What a funny signature. But number 1421 of 1989. This was, these were inexpensive packs back then, so we would open these Scores. This is probably the product. This and UD MVP were the product we opened the most back then. So I love the 99 Score set. Speaking of Score, 2001 scorecard, LaDainian Tomlinson, PSA 8. This was great. This was $20, and this is numbered to 410. Different rookies are numbered to different serial runs. I don't have another one to show you today, but I'll have more in the future. But, so Score, you had base Score, which would have nothing here. Then you had Score Select. It would say Select down here, and those were pulled in hobby boxes. and they would be numbered as well. And then you had score card, which would be numbered to something. And usually the numbering, I don't know, in later years, it was numbered to something specific, like some accomplishment, some data point. I don't know why this one's numbered to 410, but then Breeze is numbered to like 275. I don't know what the differences are, but I think these are really nice cards. Just one of those kind of deep cuts, and I don't think a lot of people pay attention to, but these are really great cards. And also, I think I've talked about this in the past, but today everyone focuses on, oh, I want the pro uni rookie. It wasn't like that back then. You had a lot of college unis, and it just didn't matter. It was fine. You enjoyed this set, and I don't know, something about going back and collecting this era has been really, I guess, nostalgic or rewarding. I've enjoyed it, whatever, and I love those cards. They're great. Sticking to that era, we got a trifecta here of autos. So here's a Tomlinson Topps debut auto. Topps debut. These are on-card autos. I mean, these are wonderful cards, just fantastic. And then we have a Vic to a PSA 9. And then we have Breeze in a PSA 8. I'm going to show all these three. I'll talk for a second. I'm very picky about my autos. The autos in my collection, every auto in my collection is blue. I don't like non-blue autos. I hate black autos on cards. I have some exceptions in the collection. My Bird 81 Topps auto is in silver, but that's because the card is so dark, blue wouldn't show, so you need silver to kind of pop. And then, so on occasion, if it's a dark background, I'm happy with a silver or gold. But any other sort of background, I really dislike the color or the look of a black auto, and so I go blue. Now, some of these in-person autos might be a little bit different, but I tend to go for blue. I could not find a blue of Dr. Doom, so that's why I have black. But anyway, I say all that to say, it was the Wild West back then, guys. People were still figuring out how to do pack pull autos, what it even looked like. And so if you go look for these online, you'll find them in black and in blue. And it's not different parallels. It's just they had a black Sharpie till it ran out of ink, and then they went to a blue Sharpie. And so I just think that's pretty interesting, something to keep an eye out for if you're, looking through that stuff. To end off this era, 2000 Impact Tom Brady. So I've mentioned before, I had a lot of Brady rookie growing up. None of the elite stuff, but me and my buddy Schwartz, we were cheap or poor. I don't know, whatever. I wouldn't call us poor. That's not fair, but cheap. We didn't have a lot of money, whatever. And Impact was a super cheap pack, probably 50 cents. And they flooded that stuff with Brady rookies because he was a late round pick. And so we probably had 20 of these Impact rookies. And over the years, I had sold them all because, I basically had nothing into them, pennies. And, you get $20 for it here, $50 for it here, whatever. And now as I get older, I'm like, I miss having this card. We had this card in our collection for forever. So I started to look to pick one up, and I picked this up at the latest Austin card show. And then the last one from this era, Brady Quantum Leaf CGC 7.5. I'm not too happy with that grade, but it was a good price overall. And, the card shows fine. So I was happy with that. Quantum Leaf is a set I don't think a lot of people talk about or maybe even know about because it had a short shelf life. But these are wonderful cards. From that era, I think these are some of the best cards. The 2001 Quantum Leaf is fantastic. And this is 2000, of course. And it's a great looking set, too. So, again, both of these are college unis. So I think people maybe kind of turn their nose up to them. But I don't know. I love these cards. I think they're fantastic. Quick one here. I got a trade from Schwartz. PSA 8, 99 Bowman Chrome. It's probably my favorite set all time. Refractor. Mr. Troy Aikman. This is what Schwartz paid for it whenever he got it. That's how he does. That's his record keeping. It's pretty good. And I'm going to show 4 TCG cards, and then we're going to show the monstrous basketball hauls. I haven't talked about this, I don't think, on the channel, but I am pretty aggressively collecting some Dragon Ball Z cards from the late 90s. This is the 1998 Dragon Ball Z gold set. This is a Zarbon in a PSA 5, and the reason I have this card in a PSA 5, it's probably the worst character in the set, is because I have PSA 9s of every other character. I have multiple PSA 9s of many. Now, most of these are, single-digit pops in a PSA 9 and have a 0 pop of higher than 9, right? So 9 is the highest grade, and there's usually 9 or less graded for every single card in the set. It's a 10-card set. This is the Dragon. Here's Dende. I have 2 of these. I have 2 of the Dragons. And then here is the Frieza. I actually have 3 of the Friezas. There's 9 PSA 9s that exist. I have 3 of them, but this one does happen to have a PSA 10. These cards are beautiful in hand. I mean, these are really awesome cards, really fantastically made. But they were very condition sensitive and probably came out of most packs grade like 7 condition or worse. So super rare stuff. I love that stuff. I'm always picking it up. Now let's go to basketball. I made a trade. I don't know, 2 months ago. I had picked up the 1999 SPX Radiance Hakeem Olajuwon along with some others, and I wasn't that crazy about the card, but I knew it was a nice 90s card. So I ended up making a trade with a guy at the Austin show, and I traded him for these. I gave him that Radiance and $30 for these two cards. And I think it's a great trade up. This is the Fleer Brilliance Gold. So this is not the 24 karat gold. The 24 karat gold kind of has a refractor finish, where the gold is just gold, and the gold is numbered to 99. And again, I think these are wonderful. Even not, forget about 24 karat for a second. Just the golds alone, I think, are awesome cards. I think these look great. I would put these second behind 24 carats. I really think these are some of the best cards of the era. I think the Star Rubies at a 98 and 99 are up there as well. For my money, better than PMGs. I'm not the biggest PMG fan. I've had a couple now, and I'm just like, it just doesn't do it for me. I love these. I think this is a great image. I like the solo look of Hakeem here. It's just a great image, great card. And so I feel like I kind of traded up, and then he threw this sucker in, which I didn't know anything about this, but this is out of 95 Hoops, Sky View, and this is the see-through version. I think there's 10 cards in this set. Don't quote me now. I kind of forget now. But, this looks so much like the, 97 Essential, EX Essential, and this is out of 95, so it's obviously a precursor to that. This was kind of a case hit back then. And, we valued this at like $30 in the deal, and I was super happy with that. I thought that was very fair for me. I think this was a great looking card, pretty unique, and happy to have that in the collection. Pretty much done with Hakeem stuff, not looking to pick up anything else. Now, the two big cards that I picked up, I'm super happy. Been chasing both of these for 6 months now, and I happened to pick them both up in the same month. Could not believe it. And first up is a Topps Chrome rookie Yao Ming and a PSA 9. There has been a PSA 8 listed on eBay for forever for $300. And I mean, there's been many nights with my button on the buy it now trigger or my finger on the buy it now button ready to trigger it. And I just never did it. I don't know. But nothing was ever really coming up. This one finally came up for auction, and I was ready to go into the 500s for this card. And it ended for less than that PSA 8 buy it now. And I couldn't believe it because, I mean, if you look at sales and what the market is, I think the market on this card, I think this card is worth $500. I would have been happy to pay what I thought was market for it. And of course, I was very excited to get it for less than that. I said I don't want to talk about a lot of money in the collection videos. That's not the point of it. But I don't know, just something about this. Like, I feel very firm that this is a $500 card in the market. And for whatever reason, at that moment in time, the market disagreed with me, and it was to my favor. So I don't know. Just keep an eye out on this stuff if you're ever looking for it. But yeah, the original, Topps Chrome there of Ming, and then the best one. What I think is Yao Ming's best card ever made. You can argue with me. I don't really care. It says Topps Finest Rookie Auto. This is an on-card auto. It's a refractor to 250. There's a base version numbered to 999. This is in a BGS 910. I think this has a very strong possibility to cross to a PSA 9 or better. And if it does, I mean, we're talking a huge win on the value on that card. But this is not going anywhere. I've been chasing this card for a long time. This is another one where there's been a PSA 7 listed on eBay for a long time. And the seller, in my opinion, has just been unreasonable with what they're asking. And I finally said, to heck with it. I'm going to go buy this 9 because it looks very good. This BGS 9. And I'm quite happy with the decision. I really love this card. This is up there with one of my favorite cards in the collection now. Really fantastic. And for anyone who, I don't know, may not remember or wasn't that big a deal for y'all, I love this. The Ming Dynasty Begins. It's just the back of the card is so wonderful. It's just a great blurb. When Ming was drafted, it was huge. It's all the city could talk about. I mean, I remember everyone in my family, on the news, at school, all you could talk about was Ming. I remember watching Yao and Stevie play basketball, and then Stevie gets traded, and we get T-Mac, and that's a great era of Rockets basketball. And then Yao's been such a great advocate for the game, and just a seemingly cool person off the court too. Was always a wholesome and nice person. When he was in the city, very gracious, happy to be around fans, and just all around great athlete. One of the great athletes in my life. One of the great Houston athletes of all time, and really excited to pick this up and put it in the collection. So that's the video. I hope you all enjoyed, seeing some of what got picked up this month. I mean, these three, oh boy, that's a big one. That's some Houston royalty right there. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, as always, my friends, keep collecting.